I just envisioned myself trying to be one of the top guys, and I just went after it. So I didn't necessarily know if I had talent or not, and that wasn't even important to me. It was just like, somehow I was like, I'm going to be that.
Skating doesn't hand out trophies for popularity. You earn it in clips, in parts, in moments that hit deep. Respect isn't given, it's carved out, one trick at a time. But love, that comes from something else. Style, influence, loyalty to the culture, the ones who never sold out, the ones who made us want to skate. And hate, that's just love twisted sideways, respect refused, ego unchecked, or just being too good too fast. Sometimes it's deserved, sometimes it's projection, but it's never quiet. This is part 2 of the most debated list in skateboarding, the icons we'll defend forever. And the ones we still argue about at the park, in the comments, or during session. No fluff, no bios, no PR spin, just cultural impact, public perception, and the raw reactions that come with both. You don't have to agree, but you will feel something. Let's settle this.
Just go and have fun. If you're having fun doing it, just do it. And that's the thing, is I still have fun skateboarding. And
some skaters follow the map. Daewon burned it and skated the ashes. Picnic tables, chain link fences, drainage ditches, the stuff most people step over, Daewon turned into playgrounds. Where others saw limits, he saw lines, and that changed everything. Long before skate parks popped up in every neighborhood, Daewon was building his own setups. Flat bars balanced on rocks, tables stacked on curbs, manual pads made out of literal trash. And what he did with them? Wall rides out of manuals, unthinkable tricks, multi-trick combos balanced on 2 wheels like a magician with grip tape. It was absurd, but never gimmicky, always intentional, always clean, always ahead. His parts weren't just tech, they were cinematic puzzles. Watch Rodney versus Daewon, and you see 2 skaters speaking completely different languages, but somehow finishing each other's sentences. While Rodney pushed the limits of physics, Daewon pushed the limits of what counts as a skate spot. And his parts only got better with age. Even as skateboarding evolved, even as the tricks got gnarlier, the rails bigger, the money louder, Daewon stayed in his own world.
You gotta definitely say thanks to them too as well, because I mean, they're
100%.
still, you know, and they're still like, they support you, they carry your name somewhere. They're like, I don't skate, but if I do, I back Daewon or something. And you're like, that's cool. You got like a little group of people that support you even though they don't skate. And just like any of us, how a lot of us support sports and we're for one team and stuff like that, people get like that too with skaters. It's crazy, you know. And you gotta like you gotta feel privileged and just kind of honored that even happens. And just anybody who comes up to me when I'm somewhere, like with my kids, or I'm at Disneyland, or I'm just at a park, and they come up to me and say, hey, Daewon, like, and they say thanks. They say thanks for like everything you do. Yeah, it like makes me feel so. I'm like, wow, you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
No, you embrace it really well,
what I mean?
bro.
They don't need to say that stuff, and I'm no different from anyone else. Just like any of us is, you know, we just, you know, we do what we do, and if somebody can acknowledge that and respect what we do, it's definitely like a special moment.
No chasing contests, no energy drinks, no clout games, just raw creative destruction, a one-man genre. And the community felt that. He never leaned into ego, never demanded the spotlight. Just let the skating speak. And somehow it spoke to everyone. Old school purists, tech junkies, street rats, skate park kids, pros and beginners alike. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone with anything bad to say. Because Daewon represented something skateboarding still holds sacred. Skating for the sake of skating.
I don't know what I was known for. I can say that maybe I influence people to stay motivated and know that they can do it for a while, because I've been doing this now I've been professional for I think 20 years, you know? And I think I can motivate people in the new generation that is insane at skateboarding. They go, hey, if you pace yourself and have fun with it, you can maintain and have a long career like I have.
No politics, no agenda, no fake storylines, just love for the board. And limitless imagination. And that legacy? It's everywhere now. In DIY spots, in quick-cut Insta lines, in curb edits, in any clip where someone turns trash into terrain, in the creativity-first mindset that says, I don't need a perfect spot, I just need a board and an idea. Daewon wasn't trying to be a legend, he just was. He didn't create a wave. He showed us how to skate without one. No blueprint, no rules, just flow, balance, and vision. Because he reminded us that the spot isn't the obstacle, it's the opportunity. And if you're creative enough, the world becomes your park. A broken curb is a challenge. A trash can is a canvas. And a picnic table? That's where Daewon made history. Even now, as skateboarding stretches in every direction, Olympics, mega ramps, corporate sponsorships, Daewon stays rooted, not in the past, but in the why of it all. His clips don't chase relevance, they define it. Timeless lines filmed in alleys, schoolyards, business parks, places you've probably walked by 100 times and never looked at twice. That's his magic. He doesn't just change how you see skateboarding, he changes how you see the world. Because with Daewon, it's never about the setup, it's about what you do with it. Creativity over conformity, joy over ego, skating over everything.
Look how much he cleared that by.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts.
Jesus.
It's just so comfortable.
Every time he skates, jaws drop, the speed, the pop, the raw explosion of it all. Aurelien Giraud doesn't just land tricks, he detonates them. Massive kickflip front boards down hubbas, launch speed frontside flips that look like CGI, Olympic runs that leave even core skaters blinking in disbelief. And yet, he's one of the most divisive skaters in the game. Because for all that talent, Aurelien skipped the usual storyline. No crusty VX footage from local parks, no grimy street clips and busted shoes. He arrived on the world stage with Red Bull backing, high-def footage, and a look that screamed contest machine. And to some, that's the problem. Skateboarding has always had this unwritten rule. You earn your stripes in the dirt first. You suffer a little, film in the rain, eat pavement, hustle parts before podiums. But Aurelien came through like a pre-built champion. Flawless, undeniable, but disconnected, like a cheat code that skipped the character arc. No visible struggle, no gritty story to latch onto. The underground didn't feel him. The message boards lit up. Too corporate, too flashy, too soon. He became a symbol, fair or not, of what core skaters fear most. A future where style takes a backseat to points and performance, where perfect lighting matters more than gritty lines, where sponsors pick robots instead of rebels. But here's the catch. He isn't faking it. Aurelien is out there every day, going bigger than almost anyone, stacking clips, pushing limits. The tricks are real. The impact is real. And while the style might not be everyone's favorite, the commitment is undeniable.
Is this his first part? Street part?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking about that too. We live in a time now where dudes are going
like
pro.
last week was Versace's first part.
Dude, he went pro before we even got a street part.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is different to see him actually in the street. I've not seen him in the street.
Straight up.
The truth? He's the product of skateboarding's global evolution. Raised on contests, trained in parks, built for visibility. He doesn't come from the streets. He comes from a system, a new system. And whether you love that or hate it, you can't ignore it. He's putting eyeballs on skating. He's inspiring kids outside the traditional scenes. And he's doing tricks most of us will never touch, with height, power, and perfection. The hate he gets isn't really about him. It's about what he represents. The friction between old school grit and new school spectacle. The fear that skateboarding's soul is being overshadowed by medals and brands. That we're losing the flaws that made it real. But every era has that skater. The one who arrives polished, powerful, and unapologetic. The one who doesn't fit the mold, because the mold is changing. And while some will always write him off, others are starting to get it. Because progression never asks for permission. And like it or not, Aurelien is progression. He's not asking for your approval. He's earning it, one jaw-dropping clip at a time. And whether you film VX or post reels, you're still watching, because when Aurelien Giraud drops in, something insane is about to happen. And maybe, years from now, the same people who doubted him will look back and realize they were watching one of the best to ever do it, just a little too early to admit it.
Chris Cole's one of my favorite skaters, and I think it's one of the gnarliest parts ever. I love the way it was put together, the music that was chosen, and it gets me psyched up to go skate, so check it out.
You don't earn respect in skateboarding by playing it safe. You earn it by handling pressure. And Chris Cole, He made pressure look mechanical. No gimmicks, no flash, just raw skill, dialed into the decimal. He came up during the golden age of video parts when skating wasn't about followers or formats, it was about footage. And Cole's footage always hit like a hammer. Zero's Dying to Live, Fallen's Ride the Sky, New Blood. Part after part, he laid down some of the heaviest tricks in the game.
Were you just on fire at this point? Were you just, everything was firing, everything was working?
Yes, he was on fire. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. I could make suggestions anywhere, any trick, and if that exact trick wasn't doable in a few tries, something similar was doable that might have even been better. It was like playing a video game. I'm filming a video part, and I had never experienced anything like it. I'd been filming for quite 10 years, making videos by this time.
Sure.
And I was like, this is the craziest thing.
I mean, 6 to 8 months to do a video part is not the easiest.
I mean, on this level.
Yeah.
Also.
Rifling out like legit stuff.
I mean,
not
for
easy.
a
Zero video, that's
Barcelona was like eight tricks a day. It was
Down the biggest rails, into the sketchiest banks, with the kind of precision that made you pause and rewind. Trey flips down massive gaps, switch front-side flips that looked like they were on wires, and always clean, always locked, but it wasn't just the tricks, it was the consistency. This dude didn't just film it once and disappear. He did it in contests, on tours, in crusty spots, and on the biggest stages. When Street League came around, Cole didn't flinch. He adapted, won, took the Super Crown, and still hit the streets afterward like contest didn't mean a thing. That duality? That's rare. That's respected. Because he wasn't chasing clout. He was chasing clarity. A skater who treated his board like a scalpel. Precise, focused, ruthless. There was never a persona with Cole. No branding gimmick, no controversy bait, no loudmouth interviews. Just a dude who let his skating do the talking, and the skating never shut up. He was blue-collar, hard-working. Built like the skaters that came before him, but tech enough to dominate in any era. He was the bridge between the raw and the refined, between zero-budget videos and arena lights, and the fans knew it. Cole was the guy who never had to remind you he was good because he'd already proved it 10 times over. And that made him bulletproof to most of the industry's noise. He might not have had the flashiest style. He might not have been the most polarizing figure. But if you grew up watching parts in the 2000s, you felt it. You saw a skater who earned everything, not because of luck, not because of hype, but because of work ethic, obsession, and execution. And that's the part that sticks. He didn't build his name on drama, he built it on reliability. A pro's pro, year after year, part after part, like a machine with soul. Even now, his influence runs deep. You can see it in the way new pros approach contests, how they balance street footage and comp life. You can see it in every skater who trains like it's their job. Because to Cole, it was a job. And that wasn't a weakness. It was the identity. He set a standard. Not just for how hard you skate, but how hard you work. That's why he's still loved. Because Chris Cole didn't just skate for us. He skated like us. Only better. And we respected the hell out of it.
Needless to say, it ended up working out, and here we are 20 years later.
For a whole generation, he was the guy. Style, precision, consistency. Paul Rodriguez wasn't just good, he was inevitable. First Latino skater with a major shoe deal.
He calls me and says, hey, here's the deal. She tells me everything about it. I'm like, okay, all sounds great. But one question, am I getting a signature shoe? Only thing is they're not planning on giving any signature shoes to skaters. And I was like, man, that's a bummer. But that's my dream. I have to. I was like, tell them I appreciate the offer, but I can't do it. If you know, having a signature shoe to me was the completion of the dream. You have a signature board and you have a signature shoe. That makes you a pro skater. So she went back to Nike. She told them, hey guys, he says he can't do it if he's not getting a signature shoe. And then they just came back, to my surprise, not even thinking they would come back. Said, okay, we'll give him a shoe. Skaters came back, give you the shoe. And I was like, are you serious? I was like, there's nothing else to think about, let's do it. And needless to say, it ended up working out, and here we are 20 years later.
Multiple X Games golds, Street League pioneer, That yeah right switch flip, iconic. But somewhere along the way, the love got complicated. Because as P-Rod rose through the ranks, his world got cleaner. Big sponsors, big press, big money. And the core scene started side-eyeing him. The Nike SB deal? That was the flashpoint. When he signed, it felt like a line in the sand. Skating's rebellious soul versus corporate polish. To some, P-Rod became a symbol of what skating was becoming. Less grit, more gloss. A showroom version of the streets. And the backlash came quick. Sellout? Too safe? He left the culture behind. But here's the truth they don't want to admit. P-Rod didn't sell out. He leveled up. He didn't just take the check and dip. He built. He put on. He created longevity in a space where most burn out by 30. Primitive wasn't a side project. It was a love letter. A brand that gave a platform to skaters who deserved the spotlight.
Primitive started in 2008. I was 23. My founding partner, he was the guy who actually managed the skate shop I told you about at the beginning, 118 skate shop. Once I signed with Nike, he had already been saying, hey, we need to open up a sneaker store, let's open a sneaker shop. And when I was 19, just signed with Nike, I was like, man, I couldn't be bothered with that. I don't know anything about this. This sounds crazy. I don't know. I can't do that. But finally, around 22, I was like, all right, I need to figure out how to set myself up for life after skateboarding. 2014, we launched Primitive Skateboards. I realized at that time I was maybe 28. I was one of the names in skateboarding that was able to be marketable and move product well from my other brands. So I was like, I think if I start my own board brand, it will have a chance at doing well. You know, been able to establish ourselves now going on 8 years as, you know, one of the top skateboard brands in our industry.
From Carlos Ribeiro to Tiago Lemos, he's backed some of the most respected skaters in the game. He could have coasted. Instead, he gave back. And the skating never dipped. Switch game still surgical, parts still fire. Style still smoother than most skaters half his age. And when he got hurt, knees blown out, surgeries stacked, he came back every single time. You don't do that if you're just chasing checks. You do that because skating is in you. Because you can't walk away, even when your body begs you to. So, yeah, he's not wall riding dumpsters in the rain. He's not filming VX lines through traffic cones or dropping hammers at 2 a.m. with a hoodie pulled over his face. But he's also not faking anything. P-Rod is what happens when a street skater figures out how to win the system and still rep the culture. Not everyone has to be the underdog to be real. Sometimes the cleanest version of the game is the hardest to pull off. The hate he gets? It's legacy hate. The kind you only earn by being so visible for so long. People forget why they loved you in the first place. It's the tax of greatness. But ask any pro who came up in the 2000s who set the bar, they'll say P-Rod. Every time. Because when you strip away the commentary and the nostalgia, the skating still holds up. And the resume? Untouchable. He walked a tightrope most skaters would never dare try. Mainstream success without sacrificing identity. He took risks, made moves, took heat, and just kept going. Because for Paul Rodriguez, it was never about being liked. It was about being great. And that story, still being written, still climbing, still switch stance, still flawless.
Special guest. Yes. Highly sought after. A lot of people request him. Shane O'Neill.
Some skaters hit you with chaos. Shane O'Neill hits you with silence. No hype, no chest beating. Just flawless execution, trick after trick after trick. He's the kind of skater that makes impossible look effortless. Switch big spin, flip front boards down rails. Nollie back heel out of nose manuals. Laser precision, with posture like he's taking a stroll. For the newer generation, Shane is the gold standard. The guy you slow-mo on Instagram just to understand how the board did what it did. But even old heads give him respect. Because while his tricks are modern, his mindset is pure. No shortcuts, no ego, just mastery. He built his reputation part by part. Nothing but the truth. Debut. Shane goes primitive. Every time he raised the bar. Not louder, just higher. And that subtlety, that's part of why fans love him. He's not chasing validation. He's not copying trends. He's setting the rhythm everyone else tries to match.
Talk about phenomenal.
The best skateboarder in the
That
world.
was insane.
Unreal.
It looks like he doesn't even try.
He's not real.
He's not real.
Hey,
But you know what the sickest part is that he's on some fucking business shit. His shit's always like you can see that he's
putting in work.
Putting in work.
Yeah. He's very like well thought out on the tricks and like the editing, and the song made it like that much better too.
It was good, yeah.
Song,
It was put together so well.
And then there's Primitive. He was a key element into building a brand that gave tech street skating a clean, elite identity. It wasn't just about boards. It was about showing the world what modern skateboarding could look like when done perfectly. The way Shane moves, it's not just technical, it's surgical. He's skating like a scientist with a vendetta. Every flick, every land, every push, measured, controlled, but never robotic. That's the wild part. He skates like a machine, but you feel the soul. It's not cold, it's composed. Years of repetition turned into pure confidence. He doesn't yell after tricks, doesn't over-celebrate, you'll get a head nod, maybe a smirk. Because for Shane, nailing something insane is just another line in the formula. And it's that control, that self-discipline, that makes him stand out in a world full of chaos skaters and brand-built personalities. Some critics call it boring, too clean, too chill, but that's missing the point. Because Shane doesn't need to sell emotion. He's too busy showing you the ceiling. For every loudmouth pulling views, there's a skater watching Shane's footage in their garage, trying to replicate one flick for hours. That influence runs deep. Not in memes or headlines, in muscle memory and obsession. Even his mistakes feel calculated. Even his bails have balance. Because the skating isn't for the camera, it's for the craft. His legacy isn't built on shock, it's built on trust. Trust that every part, every clip, every frame is the result of discipline most skaters only flirt with. Shane O'Neill is loved because he reminds us that perfection still matters. That polish, power, and respect for the craft aren't lost. They've just evolved. He didn't just adapt to modern skating, he defined it, quietly, sharply, without apology, and whether or not you notice him right away, skate long enough and eventually you start chasing that kind of control.
I'm basically trying to make people smile, you know what I mean, with whatever I do. And then also it's like, if you could do something that makes someone think like, oh, that's fucked up, and then they kind of laugh about it, that's good too. I'll take that.
Jason Dill doesn't want your approval. Never has. He'd rather you flinch, argue, or walk away. Anything but nod politely, because Dill isn't here to fit in. He's here to shake the cage. From Alien Workshop's photosynthesis to founding fucking awesome, Dill's entire career has been one big middle finger to polish and predictability. He's been skating since the 90s, and somehow he's still the most unpredictable person in the room. Style, raw, skating, loose, chaotic, but real. He'll switch wall ride a dumpster and make it look like religion. He'll 360 flip into a crusty bank and call it art. And then he'll go on camera and trash everyone's favorite brand with a smirk. That's Dill. No filter, no leash. And that's exactly why he splits the room. Some fans worship him. The ones who love skateboarding's messiness, its underground blood, its total rejection of normal. They see the poetry in the rough edges. They see the punk in the personality. But others, they see a guy who never grew up, too angry, too arrogant, always trashing something, never smiling, constantly feeding the myth of I'm above it all. And that myth, it worked. Dill became a symbol, not of skill alone, but of aesthetic power, the way he dressed, the way he talked, the way he built fucking awesome like an art movement instead of a brand. He's the skater that fashion magazines write about.
When we started FA in 2001, there wasn't like a streetwear market. There wasn't, I don't remember that word coming around much, streetwear, to where like, if you did know about a brand, you could kind of like, maybe go visit them. All I'm really ever trying to do is give someone the escapism within what I call entertainment. And then FA being a bit of an escapism company. Anyone who likes what we do, I want to have a place for them where they can come be surrounded in it. Head to toe, you know, floor to ceiling, 360 everywhere you look is everything we want you to see.
The guy who turned attitude into currency and people bought in. He didn't sell style, he defined it. And if you didn't get it, that was the point. But that kind of influence comes with backlash. Gatekeepers say he's too self-important. Younger skaters say he's just that angry old dude now. Even people who respect him admit, yeah, he's a legend, but he's also kind of a dick. And Dill wouldn't argue, he'd agree, because he doesn't want to be liked, he wants to be felt, and he is. FA changed how skate brands look. It made chaos marketable. It turned zines, photo dumps, and grainy montages into high art. It proved that you could push buttons and still push product. Dill changed how skaters talk about style, vibe, aura. He made skating weird again, and proud of it. He's not the best skater on this list. He's not the most technical. He's not winning contests or dropping the cleanest parts. But his impact, massive. Because in a sea of clones, Dill stayed sharp, stayed uncomfortable, stayed Dill. He's the glitch in skateboarding's algorithm. The reminder that not everyone needs a brand script or a clean storyline. That the rebel doesn't always grow up. Sometimes he gets louder. You don't have to agree with him. You don't even have to like him. But if you care about skateboarding's cultural edge, the part that lives outside contest runs and corporate edits, you owe Jason Dill more than you think. Love him or hate him, he reminds skateboarding of what it risks when it tries too hard to be liked. And whether you're rolling your eyes or clapping your hands, you're reacting, and that's exactly what Dill came to do. Some skaters win trophies, some win loyalty, and some split the room every time their name gets dropped. Love or hate, it only means you mattered. Want more? Check out part 1 of the most loved versus most hated skaters. Now it's your turn. Who makes your list? Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay wicked.